Well, this goes to show you the power of the water. The river crossing used to be back there a little bit on the left, and now the track follows the other side of the river and there's no sign of where the other track used to be.
This afternoon we found ourselves at Abercrombie River National Park. It's a favourite of ours. We're in New South Wales and about an hour out of Oberon. In the past, Glenn and I have run many trips through here with our four-wheel drive club in New South Wales and have had a ball. So on our travels today, we thought we'd pop back and spend the night. Lots of great places in here, the beach, Silent Creek, and if we're lucky, a couple of good river crossings or two, which we look forward to sharing with you. Let's go and have a look.
The track's certainly degraded a little bit since last time. Oh. Oh! Yeah, that was a bit rough, wasn't it?
Occasionally we have to stop and do a little bit of maintenance so we can show you some video footage. This is Glenn Windexing the window.
It's all about you people. It's all about the new video. That's much clearer.
This track is the first descent after the four-wheel drive only sign. It's rocky and gnarly and kind of reminds Glenn and I of the road down into Talbotville in the Victorian High Country. Those logs were nice and tight, weren't they?
Yep.
She went over that rock then, that was in the middle.
Ooh. Guess that was the back wheel going over it. Right, well that's down then, mostly. Tough bit of that. Oh, this track still goes down here. Oh, look, we've got a fishing thing now.
Oh, wow.
Quarry perch, there you go. Where does it go here? Go through the road.
Oh, the creek looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the river, isn't it? This will be the first river crossing of the day, just off Abercrombie track. I guess that means I'll have to swim. Thanks for coming back to get me, Glenn. My knight in shining armour.
Yeah, got a bit of water in it. We've come through it before, it's been a trickle. Always forget how steep this park is. This is washed out a little bit more than it used to be. This is the beach campsite in Abercrombie River National Park. Up behind me over here is a flat camping section and the toilets up there, and the river runs along behind here. And interestingly enough, directly in front of us over here is a little river crossing, which is always a bit of fun. It goes across the river to a little kind of clear area. You can't get through, there's a lock down the other side, but the river crossing is quite a bit of fun. We're going to go and give that a go. Oh, so the track goes across here now.
You can't get down further. Oh, maybe you can.
We're about to find out.
Is this new?
Yeah.
Because you used to go up over there.
Yeah, it did.
Huh. And you come out there.
Yeah. Well, this goes to show you the power of the water. The river crossing used to be back there a little bit on the left, and now the track follows the other side of the river, and there's no sign of where the other track used to be. We might post in some footage from previous crossings we've done here.
Absolutely. Woo! Or just lean the other way. Wow, it's really changed.
Yeah, wow. So earlier in the year there were very heavy rains in New South Wales, and I'm guessing that they came through and the river just completely demolished this area.
And you could never get this far through before.
You could get about here and that was it. That's all she wrote.
It's really changed.
Totally changed, hey?
Look at this tree. It's hanging there by its roots,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, it must,
The other one.
the water must have washed the root out. I thought this might be a more comfortable line for you.
Well, thanks. There's a giant hole over there. So. Shut the gate. Yeah, it's private property up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Wow, it's so different.
Amazing, hey?
Still amazingly beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lovely spot. Look at it, I love this. What up in the tree there? They're probably thinking, it's good you're leaving. Clonk. That sounded like a sway bar.
Okay.
Going clonk. Okay, turning right and heading down towards Silent Creek. Away from the beach. And now we're turning right in towards Silent Creek again.
Little bit of water.
Lovely. All you need is a little bit.
This is the creek crossing into Silent Creek. Absolutely beautiful. All you can hear is the trickling stream. The patrol in the background grumbling away. And just us.
Campsite along there.
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah. Oh, hello. There's had a lot of water down it. Look. Back wheel in. Grab a little climb up the hill away from the creek and right into Silent Creek, which is our campsite for the night. And we have the place to ourselves.
Wow.
And we have Silent Creek to ourselves, which has never happened before.
Three wallabies.
And there's some wallabies. Oh, this guy over on the right here is a bit unsure. I think we'll pick our traditional spot, which is way down the other end. And right next to the creek. Hello, Skip.
You might have that firing tonight. What do you
This
reckon?
looks perfect.
Nice.
And this is Silent Creek. It's a beautiful little campsite. If you follow this creek down for, I think it's about 500 metres or a kilometre, you actually come to the Abercrombie River. So this little creek feeds into it. And as you can see, there's been quite a bit of water flowing through here in the not too distant past also. That was our night in Silent Creek. Beautiful spot. As I said before, we had the place to ourselves, and waking up this morning, had a few wallabies jumping around. And the sun's just cracking through the fog, which is quite nice.
Hope you left your trailer at home.
Sharp left.
Yep. Or around there. So
Otherwise it's not very Nissan friendly.
So that's called Abercrombie Fire Trail.
Okay, we've just turned off Abercrombie Fire Trail and onto Silent Creek Fire Trail. We're going to go over today and drive a little track that caught us out many years ago called Little Bald Hill. It was really gnarly the first time we drove it. We actually rolled a tyre off the beat and had to winch up it. But recently, or the last trip down here, which is several years ago, they graded it and it was an easy walk in the park. So hopefully, after all the rain down here, it's degraded a little bit and it might be a little bit of a more interesting drive.
It goes up.
Yep. this goes up a lot.
Hang on to the
Oh.
seat of your pants.
That looks like water.
Does look like water. Looks quite pretty actually. I remember here. How beautiful.
It's lovely. Hello, Skip.
Yeah, there's been a few bouncing around.
Stop. Fix it. Trickle.
A little bit. Tree had fallen down. It goes up.
It's a little bit interesting looking, isn't it?
My front look is
Yeah,
off
I
to
think
the
that's a
side.
great idea.
And I might try first ski. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Looks like it's a little interesting a little bit up.
Slow and steady.
Sun's adding to the challenge. Oh, this is really interesting. Sun through the dirty windscreen's helping quite a bit, isn't it?
I think it's pretty how the spider's webs also reflect. A little bit of wind, right? Just take it slowly. We'll be right.
Nice drive. I love our truck. You think up and left? Yeah.
Yeah. See, the best way to keep the truck level.
Yeah.
Sorry about the tree in the face.
It's alright. I had it coming. Wow! I didn't see that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That looks like a comedian drive. You know, I got out and I thought, I wonder if the handbrake's going to hold.
I should have parked here. Okay.
I was actually thinking you should turn it off with a gear. Well, it stopped.
Thank
Now we
Christ.
get it out. Back it out. Lock us on the back of the motor. Fuck. That was fucking lucky. We learned a lesson now.
And you know what? I parked there and I thought to myself, this is more level. Okay, lesson learned. Sorry, babe.
No, that's alright. Do you reckon I'm better off driving down it or up it?
Where's the radio? Let me have a look.
Woo! That was excitement.
So,
Not zipped out or anything.
no.
The front tyre hit went into the bank. That's what stopped it.
The radio on?
Yeah, it's on.
When you're ready. You dipped out.
Maybe we can winch it forward onto that tree.
Down.
Sorry, what was that?
Tie your right hand down. Might get some traction. Yeah, beach whale.
So I go for the winch off that tree right next to you.
Yep. Okay, all clear?
Yep, good to go.
Left rear is about to drop down.
What's the front right doing?
Front right is good. In a moment, you're going to go right hand down. Right hand down. Right hand down.
I can't, the winch is pulling me into the tree.
Okay. Got 3 wheels on the ground. Your left rear is in the rut, but it's up about, I don't know, 15-20 centimetres. I reckon I'll unwinch you and you have a go at driving it. Okay, right hand down. Okay, and that's the line you need to take. Keep going. A bit of ground with your right left, your rear left. Keep going. Straighten up. Good.
Woo!
Tip, but I think you'll be okay. Nice and slowly. Nice and slowly. Good. Left hand down. Straight. Good drive, you're almost out of it. Well done, babe.
Woo! And that, folks, is what happens when your handbrake fails on a hill. We got lucky the truck diffed out on this washout here, so it didn't end up in a tree or the other gully.
Lucky we've got a service booked when we get home.
Yep. That's a lesson learnt. This little drive isn't too bad. It's a little bit of a hole on the right hand side, which isn't going to make it feel very comfortable. Up she goes.
Just keep driving it to the top.
Clarissa can. Okay, here's a sign that says Bald Hill Fire Trail. Oh, okay, so this
And this is-
intersection, hang
yep.
on.
Yep.
Okay,
This
so,
is Little Bald Hill.
yeah, okay.
So we're turning right onto Little Bald Hill Fire Trail, and after the little incident we just recovered from, this should be a walk in the park. And I'd probably heed that warning that says no camper trailers on this. Okay, so this is the bottom of Little Bald Hill. Looks like it's okay at the moment. We'll have a look. It gets a little bit more eroded the further around you go after you cross this lovely little creek. Here we go. Oh, and this is much better than it used to be.
Welcome to Clarissa Cam. Having a quick walk, both Glenn and I, up the track to see what it's like. As we've mentioned, we've done it a few times before, but it's always good to check the track before you drive something, especially since we know how this terrain on Little Bald Hill can vary so much. To the right, just over here, is a massive tree which fell last time we were down here, about 4 years ago, and we had to stop our convoy and chainsaw it to be able to get through. Yep, I'm huffing and puffing. Looks all right to me, Glenn.
Yeah, it looks bad at all.
Engage my lockers.
Right.
Bit scrabbly. Looks fine. Yeah. So here I am being a billy goat, and I've hiked about 2/3 of the way up the top of Little Bald Hill. Over here on my right, you can hopefully see there's a whole lot of trees that they've felled and put across the track there. Years ago, that's where the track used to be. And it was about here that the first time we ever drove this hill, Glenn was driving it, and due to the road surface, we unfortunately lost a bead off the tyre. And I can tell you right now, that tree right here was our winching tree, and I spent a lot of time up there. The best bit, of course, was we were on such an angle, we had to do a double line pull. And after a few moments, it was working, and then we hear crack, and the snatch block fell apart, went flying. Thankfully, I was literally behind the tree, and we managed to limp our way up there and change the tyre. First time you drove this, it was wet.
You used to go around that way, remember that?
You had to come over more to your port side and get a little bit of a run up to get up it.
Yep. Gosh, it's still steep.
Yep. You can see where the water flows through. In fact, you can see some tree debris.
I mean, it used to be really wet. Remember that?
We're lucky it's dry today.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Ready for heading for the moon. That was the drive after Little Bald Hill Fire Trail, and we've just turned left now and heading towards
Brass Walls Fire Trail we're heading towards, I think.
That's correct. And here we go.
And that was Little Bald Hill. Lovely little drive.
Brass Walls Fire Trail. Left turn, Clyde.
Yep, turning left onto Brass Walls Fire Trail.
All vehicles have turned left.
And interestingly enough, at the end of this track, there used to be a sign pointing the opposite direction that we're going, saying no through road.
They did too.
Oh, hello.
There's a few surprising rocks. Away you go.
Oh, no. Oh, a little
There's
trickle
a
here.
little trickle.
Yeah. Hogging it.
Yeah, because get off with it.
This is the no through road sign.
I think so from memory.
We're about halfway along Brass Walls Fire Trail, heading back from Little Bald Hill. And on this track is this sign that says no through road. It's been here forever, but there is no other way if you want to go and drive Little Bald Hill. So anyway, we're going the opposite direction, so that's good.
And you don't see it until you drive past it on the way out.
So we're turning left onto Middle Fire Trail now, and across the top of the park.
So now we're at the intersection of Middle Fire Trail and Brass Walls. You can exit the park or you can pop on down to Silent Creek camping ground. We're going to head over now to the sink and have a quick look at that and show you around.
Okay, so we've just got to the end of Felled Timber Fire Trail, and we're turning right onto Retreat Fire Trail. And straight ahead down there heads down to the Licking Hole. In the Licking Hole there's a little, an old abandoned horse yard, and there's a little hutting there. We might post some photos of that from the previous trip.
Leadingham's Fire Trail.
We've just stopped at Leadingham's Fire Trail, and down the end of this track there's actually a little old shack in there where it looks like someone used to live there, but you can go and have a look. It's a lovely little spot for lunch or morning tea or something, and there's a little stream that runs past the back of it. We're not going to go in today and have a look at it, but we'll post some photos from previous trips, as we've said before. Definitely worth a look. So we're just about to drive past a property that's in Abercrombie here, and last time we were in here it was owned by an older couple. They're a lovely couple. We had stopped and had a chat to them, and they own part of the property right in the middle of the park.
And they've got heaps of new solar panels.
Yeah,
Heaps of things.
and they grow their own crops and basically live here self-sufficiently.
Oh, Trump's Scotland.
Yeah. There used to be an old truck just over here, and it's gone now. Kangaroo. And they generate their own power with solar, and they also have a little wheel around the corner here, a water wheel.
Yeah, down there. There's a little bridge for their grandkids to climb over the creek.
And here's the little creek crossing.
See the little bridge. out to see the water wheel. There it is. And they can lower it or raise it and into the river and generate electricity. And someone's home. There's a car there and smoke coming out of the chimney.
And now we're turning left into the Sink campsite. This campsite's very close to the entry to the park, so it's quite popular with even two-wheel drive cars coming in here. I'm not sure I'd do it. People do.
Oh wow, the wrinkle, beautiful.
Empty. And this is the campsite called the Sink. And I'll let you in on a little secret. There is a sink here. You'll have to come and find it.
Oh, they've replaced it. It's a different sink.
They've replaced the sink with a new one.
Okay, obviously we'll insert a photo with the old sink.
There's a new sink.
I like the old sink better. It had more class.
This is the Sink campground in Abercrombie. And as you can see over there in the distance, and I'll insert some other photos, there's a sink here. And they've recently replaced it apparently. It used to be a plastic green sink, and now it's stainless steel. It's pretty upmarket. This is not a bad little campsite. We don't tend to stay here because it tends to get roaringly busy, because you can pretty easily get a two-wheel drive car in here. But it's a nice little spot, and the river's just down there behind that clearing. And we've stopped for lunch. Whoa, that was a big tree trunk. Tree root even. Trunk's a big tall bit. The root's a bit on the ground.
Yeah, this little trunk did.
Welcome to Silent Creek Campground. You can see a couple of wallabies over there in the distance and the little creek running by the campsite. It's a lovely grassy little campsite, this one. It's flat. There's 3 or 4 fire rings here. And the creek. And I've run out of things to say. There's nothing more I can say. What else can I think of to say? The question is Clarissa going to fall in? And if she falls in, will she drop the GoPro in? Oh, she's pulled it off. What are we cooking today, Clarissa?
We're having breakfast on the side of the road at the basin. Today we're having ham, cheese and tomato sandwiches.
The Sink.
Oh, we'll be at the Sink. Oh well.